Yo, what's up? This is KallaTheYapper, and I'm back with another reaction. Today is like kind of like a reaction slash yapping topics video. This will be the second one I did of its kind. You already know what the fuck we gonna be here talking about. much words do not need to be said other than Kuro Games has become the new Hoyoverse blatantly. And I'm going to say this as well. There is no argument you can give for why it's acceptable for Withering Waves to have a spinning event. Not once, but twice. They did one for their anniversary event. And now they're doing it again for version 3.1. We heard every argument in the book condemning Hoyoverse, a billion-dollar company, for having spinning events in both Zenless and in Star Rail. And guess what? This new billion-dollar company is doing the exact same thing, and you got niggas defending it, being like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Blah, blah, blah. Man, shut the fuck up, nigga. On everything. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, stupid. There ain't no argument you can give that justifies it. Anyway, let's really get into it. First and foremost, we're going to touch on what is actually in the spinning event in terms of the items in there that I deem to be the most like the best to get out of it, honestly. And then I'm gonna compare it to Zone Zeros. Then I'm gonna compare it to what Star Wars did for version 3.7. And then what is it? I'm gonna calculate it to how much you gotta spend in order to get all the prizes. Thank God someone on Facebook did a calculation so that I don't have to do the entire calculation myself. And then last and not least, we gonna watch Blazion's video as he sits here and defends a spinning event. First, actually, we're gonna look at his community post, then his video. So let's get right into it, shall we? So this is where they revealed this. This is when this was revealed. I turned off the audio because there's no need for me to play the audio, but just the video. So let's get into this, right? They're showing off the skins for the bike and all this other dandy cool stuff. Right, this is new merch, so I'm going to assume these are either skins you can obtain just by playing the game, or these are skins you have to spend money to obtain. Now here's the spinning event right here. So in the spinning event, as we can see, off rip, the starting line is right here. So we get some pulls, we get some limited pulls, then bike skin, weapon pulls, bike skin again. Then we have the new standard 5-star weapons. And then after that, we have something equivalent to a substat reroller for the echoes. Also, we're gonna get into that as well. And then finally, well, not finally. Then we have 3 limited characters from version 1. And then finally, we get like some extra accessories right at the end. I think we get this right here. I don't know if this is part of the line that we follow, but this seems to be like a free standard post that we get. Excuse me if I sound like I'm yawning. Anyway, so yeah, basically that's all we're getting in this, right? This is basically what the content is. And I should state my opinion about spinning events now before we get into it. My personal opinion about spinning events is simply as this. Spinning events to me are direct purchases. What do I mean by that? When it comes down to limited characters being added to a spinning event, I would prefer spending direct money to obtain the character rather than wishing on a gacha system that has a 50-50 where I lose my 50-50 to a standard 5-star character that I don't want. I'm just saying. I think we all can agree to that. Like, who wouldn't prefer a direct purchase versus having to gamble on a fucking character banner or weapon banner to get XYZ thing? Right? I'm pretty sure we all would prefer that. Granted, we all would really prefer all of this being free. Just hand it to the player for free. Kind of like how... You know what? Let me say that. Anyway, as you see, this is what the content we're getting for the spinning event, right? All right. So, I'm going to, in comparison, Oh, I guess now. Okay, now is the point for me to talk about the value of this. Okay, this is valuable. This is valuable. Don't really care for this. This is like semi valuable. Really valuable. This is valuable, but the only person in this group that's valuable is Shorekeeper because she's a universal unit. These two, who cares about these two at this point in the game? Let's be fucking for real. If these characters aren't getting like tweaks and updates to or QOLs added to their kits to make them more viable currently and now in the current meta of the game, then there's no use for these characters anymore. Other than like, oh, if they're like AoE characters, then you can throw them in Whimpering Waste. Other than that, the only true value here is Shorekeeper, and then like accessories, right? Probably the most least valuable thing on this whole damn thing, right? Now, in comparison to this, right? Where's my video? Oh, here you go. Here's my live stream. In comparison to this, I'm gonna show y'all for Zenless Zone Zero for their spinning event for version 2.5. Let me play this a little bit. Okay, for Zenless Zone Zero spinning event for version 2.5, we got a battery engine. I'm pretty sure this is the substat reroller or the substat selector or whatever. Accessories for the main character. I'm not too sure what this exactly is. Even though I play this game, look, I don't go that deep into like re-rolling my freaking units, substats and shit. I just take it as it is. And then after that, we get the limited weapon, limited or standard weapon, along with a limited or standard 5-star character. Right? And mind you, these aren't random, oh, you get hit with a gotcha of, oh, who appears on the screen type shit. No. You get to choose which one you want. Deadass. Right? The max amount of money I spent for this was $100. And I used those pulls I got from the $100 to pull for Yi Shongong and her weapon. And I got both of them because I won the 50-50 after going to like, I guess, hard pity for Zhao Guang. I went to hard pity. I won the 50-50, got her. And then not even that many pulls into the weapon banner, I ended up getting her weapon as well. So I was hit with a stroke of golden luck. But anyway, right? So at max, like honestly, in my opinion, the most valuable shit is like up to here when I get to the playbook characters. This to me, this is just accessory. I don't really care about all this shit. But like this is valuable. Knowing that they've been buffing older units, it is absolutely viable to directly purchase this and their weapon. It's viable. It's absolute. It's absolute. Because I have Bernice, I just don't have her limited weapon. And right now, my anomaly units are taking up a lot of weapons right now. And she would really like hers. But then Jane Doe also exists, and I want to get her weapon. And her character, so I can throw that freaking summertime skin on. Right? But like, back to the whole thing about value, right? To me, I find the Zenless Zone Zero spinning event more valuable because of what it has in it in comparison to what Wu I got going on. And it's mainly because of the characters, especially knowing that they've been buffing old units. That's why my value for this spinning event goes up to the characters. I don't really care about this shit. Same thing goes for Wu Wa's. Hold up. No. Same thing goes to this. My vision of value stops right here. It doesn't go beyond this. But if we're being honest, most of these characters in Wu Wa's have like dropped the fuck off. Like, I don't hear people talking about something, oh, I use Camellia or Jin Shi anymore. Shorekeeper, absolutely. But then you compare it to, Hoyoverse, or at least Zenless Zone Zero, Bernice, she's still viable for anomaly teams. Jane Doe, still viable for anomaly teams, of course. And we had a physical anomaly support unit that just recently came out as well. Who else was on there? Qing Yi, good stun unit still. It's like there's a lot of good value among these three limited characters in comparison, right? And I really enjoy that. That's why I favor this spinning event more than Wu's. What else can I say? At max for Zenless Zone Zero, at least up to these characters, you will spend at least $200 flat, because that will give you enough points from the shop or whatever, which I'm pretty sure I show over here, right? The shop, right? I spent $100 for the shop, right? Got enough points. By the time I got enough points, I went back to it again. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. It took me a little minute. Okay, boom. Here we go. This is about $100 spent. I got up to right here. Right? So if I spend another $200, I'll be about right around this angle. Like, I'm as close as possible to getting the weapon and the limited character or standard character that I can choose from. Right? Within Waves is going to be in the same vein, right? Spend up to about $100, $200. You're going to be right here to obtain this. Basically. Now, the calculations that I did find, which were on Facebook, here are the calculations, right? So let me scroll upward. Oh, wrong scroll. Give me a second. All right, so let's scroll. Okay, so to at least obtain the new 5-star, not new 5-star, but to obtain the 5-star resonator, right? At least one of them. You need to at least obtain 980 of this currency to claim one of these 5 stars, right? So from this calculation, 980, you can't really hit 980 on the dot. You can't. It's impossible. Especially with this is how much each in-game premium currency you get from, you know, spending for limited banner currency, the wishful characters. Like, for this, the currency for this event is like, it's not evened out properly, right? So you can't hit 900. You legitimately have to spend this much. You have to spend at least this much, which is $100 per spend for this, right? Just to even get halfway, or not even halfway, but like 2/3 of the way there to 900 and four. Actually, hold up. Where my phone at? I need to do my calculation. Hold up. Your boy needs to do his math. I always hated math, yet math ends up coming back to haunt me when I need it. This might be a really short segment of my entire video until we get to this reaction point. Give me a second. Let my phone load up so I can be able to, you know, get this damn calculator out. All right, calculator in possession. Okay, so what was it? 648? Yeah, 648 plus 648. Okay. You would be at the amount of this event currency you'd have at least 1,296, which would get you wrong one. Which would get you at least past this point up to here, basically. So you'll be able to obtain your free, or not free, but paid for 5-star character. In a similar vein to how in Zenless Zero, if you spend at least $200, you would get your free, your paid for, my bad, limited or standard weapon and limited/standard 5-star character. Pretty even Steven, if you ask me. What else do I have to say about this? I don't think there's anything else for me to say other than, like, the spending range is like around the same, right? Spend $200, at best 200 and some change, and you'll be able to get the stuff you paid for, at least up to the playable characters from my point of view, which are, in my opinion, the most valuable things on both spending events. Okay, so other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say. Now, okay, compare spending events, calculations, how much you would realistically spend, if you are willing to spend for this. Now, let me go take y'all to a video I made called Hoyoverse's Cosmetic Controversy, right? Because in this video, I tackled about, like, the spending event that was happening in Star Rail for version 3.7, and simultaneously Genshin Impact's, like, Miniature Wonderland, where you have to essentially spend money to get your hand on the limited currency for wishing for outfits in the Miniature Wonderland, right? And I was talking about that whole topic, right? And it's like, of course, at the start of the video, I mentioned how there's a bit of hypocrisy going on, which I already knew was going to happen long before we even got a spending event in Withering Waves. I already foresaw it. Hold up. Let me play a little bit of this video, just a little bit.
Really simple. It's because people think that Hoyo is using hardcore FOMO tactics to force free-to-play players to spend money so that they don't miss out on these skins. And also because there are a great portion of people that see Hoyo as the devil for literally doing anything at this point. Meanwhile, allowing the new god, aka Coral Games, to get away with using the same FOMO tactics as we've seen over the last couple months with niche team archetypes, character required teams, spinning events, and so on.
Boy, oh boy, did I hit the nail on the fucking coffin. And it's crazy, I'm not the only one. Everybody with some brain cells hit the nail on the coffin of what we was gonna see once we get into like the next year of the game, right? Niggas with brain cells already foresaw this, that we were gonna get another spinning event or whatever. The fact that they gave us a spinning event for the anniversary was kind of fucking crazy if you think about it. And then you can't even get the full 10 pull, limited 10 pull from this anniversary. I mean, from this spinning event. You can only get about up to what, 7 of the limited pulls and not the full 10, which was crazy. Anyway, there's that. I didn't mention the whole Cyrene thing. Oh, hold up. Of course, I go in. Oh, actually y'all should just go check this video out and go watch it in its fullness because I think this is a really good video, honestly, in my opinion. Granted, the editing is obviously trash. Duh. There's no shot that is like the best thing ever, but it's decent. It gets the job done. Where was I at? I talked about the Milliastra Wonderland skin. Then I end up talking about limit currency in multiple games, both in live and non-live service games. Let me go to here. Right here. Let me play this a little bit of this real quick.
Of gacha, or that Dave stopped playing non-gachas or other live service games entirely. Now, let us move on to the bonus round. So, as of me finishing the script for my video, the drama surrounding Cyrene is happening right now. But I'm going to focus only on the people being upset about Cyrene's weapon skin since my video is focused on monetization for skins in these Hoyoverse games right now. Let's begin. Cyrene's weapon cosmetic is connected to, no real surprise, a spinning event. Again,
Which, from what I understand, you have to at least spend like $300 max to have obtained her limited skin weapon for her limited skin for her weapon. Right? A lot of people were up in arms about this, being like, "Oh man, this is so predatory," blah blah blah, and it's like, actually, I said it in my video. Let me continue playing the video. Actually, go ahead.
this is similar to the situation with Zilla's Vivian Summer skin. Cyrene's weapon skin doesn't provide a necessity for her personal gameplay, buffs to her kit, and or debuff towards enemy targets. It's a cosmetic for appearances only. But here we go again with people making YouTube shorts and blowing the situation out of proportion and making free-to-play players believe that they need her weapon skin to complete, I say with air quotes, Cyrene, when in reality they don't. It's just so dumb to crash out about this when most of y'all aren't planning to get that weapon skin in the first place, especially not free-to-play players. Now, it's time for me to give some critiques for these monetized skins.
All right, I think I said enough of that. Go check out this video yourself and go give it some viewership. This video needs some most definite love. As you can see, the views on the video is horrendous. Go show this video some love for crying out loud. Anywho, I think I said everything I need to say in that. I just wanted to show y'all a little bit of bits and pieces of how my thought process was about the spinning event for Cyrene, as well. What else did I say in this video that was really good? Hold up. Let me play this real quick. Hold up. Give me a second.
Male or female mannequin banner for the limited outfit, people have been claiming in the comment section of videos about the Wonderland UGC that you could end up pulling the wrong skin for the mannequin that you didn't select as your mannequin. I'm not sure how true this is, seeing as I play Genshin on the PS4 and not the 5, because I don't have access to it on the PS4, as you all should know that. someone can properly inform me either in the comment section or in my YouTube community Discord server showing me a video of this very thing happening. Please and thank you. One final thing I will say as a valid critique for monetized skins, especially for gacha games, is that there isn't an excuse for why they don't just give out a character weapon / skin for free when they are already making money on monthly from their characters and limited weapon banners.
Remember that as we continue through this video, because once we get to Blazion's video and we see him play some hardcore defense for why this is acceptable, do understand where I'm coming from. Do understand the counter argument that I just provided in this video, as you saw, is the same counter argument people gave every time Hoyoverse did a spinning event. Keep that in mind. Now, I think I may have touched on everything I needed to touch on from the spinning event, from Zenless, comparing it, calculation for XYZ, in my opinion, about what I deem as the most valuable thing, or what is probably seen as the most valuable thing in the entire spinning event, and both in Zenless and in Wuwa. My little bits and pieces of my take about how I feel about spinning events and my critique of it, and you know, calling out the hypocrisy that we've already seen months ago before this point, showing the predatory business practice that Wuwa has been doing ever since version 2 kicked off. Right, like, and it's so crazy to see people try to defend that and be like, oh, they're not doing that. Yes, the fact they are. The fact that they are legitly rerunning best in slot team units, like legitly the support in front of the DPS over and over and over again, or the sub DPS to the DPS and whatnot over and over and over again. They've been doing it for an entire year, and yet people want to sit in their hand wave and be like, oh, that's not happening. And it's like, y'all bitched about Genshin, Star Rail, and Zenless releasing best in slot team members before the DPS came out. Ain't nobody around here stupid. Ain't nobody forget this shit. But for some reason, Wuwa players, the bots in particular, the bot players, they want us to sit here and act like this was not the arguments, or these weren't the things they were sitting here calling out in Hoyo games. But suddenly when their game is doing it, they want to act like, oh, shit is brand new. Oh, we don't know what you're talking about, twin. But all that act, they want to act retarded now when the mirror is looking back at them. Anyway, I think I said enough of it. Wait, was there more?
Giving out free
hold up.
skins won't hurt their money in the slightest.
Yeah, giving out free stuff won't hurt their money in the slightest. They make millions a month. Anyway, now, I think I done said everything I need to say. Check this video out. I'll leave the link to this video in the description below. Anyway, let's go over to this Blazion video. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me check his community. Should I check it? No, you know what? Yeah, actually, it'll be best for me to check the community post now instead of waiting until after I react to a little bit more of this video. Because y'all know I'm a certified yapper, and I will yap my head off for a good period of time. All right, let's get it. So, oh wow, look at this. Look at this hardcore defense for Wuwa making a spinning event. It's so crazy. Oh my god. This nigga lying off ripped. I mean, both can be true about yourself. My nigga, you played into that. Your content plays into that. What the fuck? What's my opinions? Okay, hold up. Let's go ahead and correct something straight right here. It's really easy to be psychopathic and just say what the public wants to hear instead of voicing my opinions. Look, there's truth in that, but at the same time, when you're actively pushing back on a fucking 80-20 issue to be like, oh, everyone else is wrong because they don't agree with what I'm saying, or because they're having an opposing opinion. No, you're the one wrong in that situation. Not every time you're expressing your opinion is you being honest, or you the one speaking the truth in the scenario. It's not always the case. It flip-flops. Authenticity is for a reason. Hey, not everybody likes the same things. I enjoy myself enjoy LOL. Some of the people who follow me or sub to me LOL, and that's fine. And the story focuses more on the MC and less on the other characters. Bad to the people who like said care. Not bad to the people who make story narrative of the hero. Jesus, just back on Rover's. This is how I mean. See the story, Rover's story. Again, he's still wrong about the Rover story point, because if this was true, then they should not have ever focused on Jesus' character to begin with. Did David and Goliath... Wait, hold up. Oh my... The David versus Goliath comparison. Are you fucking for real, bro? Let's go ahead and say this right now. You know who the main character is in the Bible? David is a side character who goes on his own story, his own little journey and whatnot through life in God's name. Right? Guess who the main character of the Bible is? It's Jesus Christ. But guess what? Even his apostles get chapters dedicated to them because of the trials and tribulations they had to go through, because they were not perfect. Jesus Christ, on the other hand, was perfect since A1 day one. Right? And how many times, for my people who were raised in Christian family households, how many times have you heard that the Bible is the greatest story ever told? I mean, it sounds pretty true when the Bible can focus not only just on Jesus Christ and the teachings he's, bringing forth to the people and the salvation he's bringing forth, right? But also to the apostles, who also get chapters dedicated to them and everything they've gone through. So again, if he's going to use the David versus Goliath example, but it's like, and then JoJo's Part 1 example, my guy, even in JoJo's Part 1, they focused on side characters as well. Yes, Jonathan was the main character we followed, but that didn't mean that the side characters didn't have their own personal stories or personal character that we also started to love and enjoy as time went on throughout the story. And the effect that they had that the main character didn't have. For example, Speedwagon. You think JoJo created the Speedwagon Foundation? No, it was the side character known as Speedwagon. And guess what? That foundation, that institute, still is present in the modern day of JoJo's timeline. Oh my goodness gracious. The Odyssey story? I'm not sure what that means. Is he referring to Assassin's Creed Odyssey? If so, the example is still incorrect. Anyway, I'm not about to get back into that because we already know what the conversation is. Anyway, let's continue. It's already 11:35. I'm not really sure how long this recording has been going on for. But all this sums up to... Wait a minute, what? I myself dislike stories that focus on the characters of the world instead of the MC. Does it mean I should guilt trip an entire community to think the same way? I think that's unreasonable. To silence others and end debates by just calling others as shills or glazers is just stupid as fuck. It leads nowhere. This nigga has the gall to sit here and say this, yet he called me a fucking shill. A fucking Hoyoverse who slanders people in his fucking community post that he later deleted. Man, shut the fuck up, you pussy. Anyway... we ain't about to get into that. I will not take seriously be asked. I will not take hold up. Until change starts happening, I will not take anything seriously and be an asshole on 20 minutes while farming, doing posts and tribalism like any other CC. Well, if that's the case, don't expect people to give you leeway for shit then, if that's the case. It's called, how about you come into the conversation in good faith, and then maybe we can steamroll into like having good faith conversations. Again, even look at this. This was 5 hours ago. Actually, Blazion Kuro Games could be going on a dark path with this spinning event. Kuro Games, 2 spinning events. There's 2 spinning events. I don't know why he just mentioned Gilded Night Market. He need to add the other one because there's 2 now. Hoyoverse, for at least Star Rail, there was 1, 2 spinning events. Then there was a spinning event in Zenless. So that's Oh, another one was in Star Rail. So that's 3 spinning events in Star Rail over the course of multiple different patches, and then spinning event for Zenless that happened over the course of 3 patches. Actually, the thank you spinning event, you can't really count that as a spinning event for multiple patches. You could legitimately only count it as one, honestly, because the spinning event for Zenless was a spinning event that lasted for 2 version updates. So technically speaking, Zenless only had 2 spinning events, not 3. I don't know why he marked it like this. This is incorrect. But nonetheless, from the argument that I'm going to assume he's trying to make here is that, oh, this Coral only did 1 spinning event while Hoyoverse has done multiple over the course of 2 games. Right? And therefore, his argument is probably going to be like, oh, they're not going to go down the dark path because they only did it 1 time or 2 times now. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is that they're doing it multiple times. That's the point. And it can be a problem if it continues to be a thing, especially for people who don't want spinning events. As a free-to-play player, I don't really care about spinning events. Spinning events are catered to those who spend money in game, and players who complain forget it's business. That's cool and all, but still, the question can be asked, why can't we get this for free? Why? Oh, because it's a business. Well, that's not a good enough answer. Why can't I get this for free? I play the game every day. I'm a fan of the game. I support the game by like showing my player retention by keep logging in to play the game every damn day. I show my love and support for the game by making content about the game online and talking about the game 24/7 and telling people, yo, go check this game out all the time. Should we not get this stuff for free? We should. Regardless if it's a business or not. They make millions a month. There's no reason why we can't get this shit for free. Also, do y'all remember back when the anniversary happened and people were expected like a free 5-star character to be given for the anniversary? Which, of course, turned out not to be true because the leakers were like really were all over the place with that shit. But at the same time, when it was found out that we were not getting a free 5-star for this 2.3 spinning event, or not 2.3 update, which is the anniversary update, mind you, I saw Tectone give the take of, oh, well, they shouldn't give out a free 5-star character because it's gonna hurt their money or some shit like that. And I was like, my guy, you wouldn't have never dared to make such an argument in the case of Star Rail or in the case of Genshin or even Zenless. You wouldn't have never dared to make such an argument. But for Wuthering Waves, you feel comfortable making such an argument? They can't give out a free 5-star character because, oh, it's gonna hurt their bottom dollar? The fuck? They make millions. Anyway. Let's get to this reaction. Cause I think that's wasted enough time with everything else. Let's get to the reaction. Cause I'm gonna tear this video apart in any argument that he gonna have. Cause I knew the hypocrisy was coming. I felt it.
Sup guys, it's me Blaze and welcome.
And unlike this cornball, I take everything I talk about seriously. And I'll crack a joke here and there when it's needed. But let's see how he defends. That's anyway. They think it equals $400. Bro, it's still, you gotta pay still a lot of money, bro. Free to play players should be able to have. Actually, bro, it's, oh my gosh. I'm gonna mention the whole story thing again. Cause I said it was gonna be the last time I mentioned it, but like, bro, every fucking video, he's wearing an outfit that has the face of a fucking side character of said story in it, where the story takes time to focus on said character. That's a side character, not the main character. He sits here and claims that he loves stories that focus on the main character, yet he's watching anime that does the complete opposite of what he's claiming. Honestly, because these anime do 2 things at once. They focus on the main character while simultaneously building their side characters, like Power. Power is fucking hot, by the way. Just to let y'all niggas know. Yes, we know that bitch dirty as fuck. She doesn't like to take a bath, and she doesn't clean her ass. But you better believe a lot of niggas who's down bad don't give a fuck. They're like, she look hot. It is what it is. Oh, she's dirty? Who cares? We can take a shower together. Anyway, let's get into this reaction, shall we? It's 11:41 right now. Anyway, let's start.
Sup guys, it's me Blaze and welcome each and every one of you to a brand new video. Today we are gonna talk about the Moonlit Path. Oh no, the spinning event of Kuro Games. This is so sad. This is so sad. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this thing that was revealed on today's live stream of 3.1 for you who walk in snow, Moonlit Path. And I decided to make the calculations and I'm gonna show you in this video why certain people are just a little bit silly. That being said, of course, there's gonna be a lot of criticisms about this on Twitter, like always, right? There's always gonna be doom posters everywhere.
Yeah, just like how they do every Hoyo game, any Hoyo game that does a spinning event or has anything that's monetized. Y'all go bam for bam about how predatory Hoyoverse is, but now when WuWa does something similar or has been doing the same predatory business practice as we've seen over the course of version 2 up till now, and they're still doing this shit when they release, best in slot team members, legitly the month before the DPS comes. So interesting. But yeah, no one's want to talk about that, right? Anyway, yeah, of course people are going to doom post. Of course people are going to criticize it, rightfully so. But the way he's talking like those criticisms are invalid. Watch he be like, oh, you only got to spend $50 and you'll get everything. Watch he make some bullshit argument like that. Anyway.
Where in this case, there's this guy who's saying, spinning event Kuro, fuck you. You became miHoyo. Imagine doing this after people already topped up on the big 3.0 start of the new region patch. Are you getting like a weapon aimed at your head or something? Like, spin!
You know what's so crazy?
Spend your fucking money!
You know what's so crazy? The argument that he is making as a pushback is the same argument niggas who play Stara and Zenless, like myself, made when it came down to the spinning events for both games. Was it a necessity for you to get Cyrene's skin? Was it a necessity? No, it wasn't. You don't need her skin. It doesn't do anything besides look pretty. What about in Zenless? Did you need to spend money to get Vivian's skin? Was it a necessity for you to get Vivian's skin? Especially if you didn't even have the character on your account. Was it a necessity? No, it wasn't. There's not a big deal for not having that skin. Right? This is what he's doing right now is the same argument people made. But guess what? You had every Koro nigga and you had every nigga who would give Hoyoverse a criticism for just existing. Said, no, that's a bad take. It's bad. It's predatory. Blah, 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 blah. But now when the shoe is on the other foot, on the game that they claim to be this, oh, so generous game. If they were so generous, why the fuck can't we get this shit for free? Why can't they just give it to us? If they were so generous. This generosity has been put into question as time went on. And I'm glad to see it. Because people have finally woken up to this idea that no, Koro games were never generous to begin with. All that generosity was damage control because their launch for their game was fucking horrendous. That's what all that generosity was. Anyway.
Money right now. Like, what? What are we doing right now? Yeah, renegotiate the skin for the wings is permanent, but bike skins are limited time. Very plain friendly. You know that there are bike skins that you can buy in the shop, right? The Line one, you can purchase that. This is just a specific one that you're gonna get if you spend money for.
Why should you spend money? Why can't we just get it for free? I'm just saying. Why could we have gotten it for free after, completing Act 1 of the 3.0 story? Why? They're already making enough money fucking making people pull for characters and weapons and shit. Why the fuck do we need to spend money on a freaking bike skin? Why can't the bike skin be for free?
For these characters. Oh yeah, I just said if you spend money for these characters. Exactly. I'm gonna talk about that because I made all the calculations. I have all the glue for this video. So yeah, a lot of people are yapping about this. I don't even know why this is.
Spinning event before Genshin, Kurobots. Well, before Genshin, Kurobots should log out of social media for some days. Okay, that's funny. Is it not true? Genshin has been going on for 6 years now. There has not been one spending event in the entire game's history. Let that sink in. WuWa, the game that's supposed to crush Genshin, that's supposed to be more generous than Genshin, they done had 2 spending events already. Which game exactly is the better game? Which game exactly is the more generous game? I'm confused now. I thought spending events do suck a lot of money out of people, pockets, and they're incentivizing players to spend money so they can get such delicious goodies. right? Such delicious goodies. Incentivizes people to spend. Even niggas who know they ain't got a dime to spend. Anyway, let's get back to the reaction, shall we?
This saying something went wrong and I cannot see the post, but this is like a replies to the post. Spinning event before Genshin Kurobots should log out of social media for some days. Oh. You guys must have forgotten what was the shit fest that was HSR with 200 pulls.
200 pulls that you could more than likely get from 2 version patches before this event even came out. So
200 fucking pulls, brother. Are you kidding me? Do you realize how much you had to spend to get the light cone? The hell where ideals burn. Do you realize? I don't think you realize what type of...
Also, let's say this as well. The spinning event was for this light cone, but at the same time, HSR currently, right now, actually, you know what? Let me pull this bitch up right now, because right now I'm in Woo-Wah right now. Because I wanted to pull up my calculation of how much we would spend in order to get all the shit from that spinning event, which is like $200 and some change at max. Right? So let me log out of Woo-Wah right now and log into Star Rail, so that I can talk about the weapon banner for Star Rail, because that collab event banner, I thought it would have disappeared by now, but it's still up. Hold up, my bad. This damn thing. All right, here we go. Yeah, the weapon banner for the collab event for Fate X Star Rail, right? It is still up and running to this day. It's been months. It's been like, it was what, version 3.4 when that collab event happened or started, right? It is still up. So that means currently, right now, people still have the ability to get the light cone. I would be shocked if this light cone still persists up until version 4.0. Because they never gave a time, an end time for the collab event banner. They never did it yet. I thought this would have ended 2 or 3 patches ago. At best, I thought it was going to end in like version 3.6. We're still in 3.7. No, we're in version 3.8 right now. I'm pretty sure in Star Rail. We're in version 3.8. And this banner still hasn't disappeared yet. The screen is loading. My bad. I should have pulled this up earlier, knowing that he was going to mention this, because his thumbnail basically showed it. But what else can I say? Actually, you know what? Let me play a little bit more, and then I'll...
The hell where ideals burn. Do you realize? I don't think you realize what type of discussion you want to enter into. Anyways, yeah. So instead of rerunning them, they are forcing us to now spend money to get them. True. This is so sad. I mean, it is what...
From a free-to-play player's perspective, this is a bad thing. It most definitely is. Now, free-to-play players, the ones keeping the lights on for the game? Of course not. Right? I think we all can recognize that. But at the same time, these are good things that players should be able to get, regardless. Again, these gotcha games make millions a month. There's no reason why free-to-play players can't have a slice of that pie too. Granted, I would say this: Stara and Zenless, in the most recent times, they've been giving out a handful of free 5-star characters. Granted, Zenless has given out 2 free 5-star characters, whereas Woo-Wah only give out 1. And then Star Rail, they reconstructed their freaking banner system for at least limited characters, so that you can lose your 50/50 to a limited 5-star character that hasn't rerun in a while, in comparison to just losing your 50/50 to a standard 5-star. And I'd have to assume that applies to weapons as well. Okay, the game finally booted up. Hold up. Because in the shop, you can get other limited 5-star characters and their weapons. But like, you can only do it like once in a while, because of the fact of they got this thing here where it's like, oh, you can only obtain something X something. Hold up. Yeah, the collab banner. It's still here. Wait a minute. What's this? Okay. Yeah, the collab banner is still here, available long term. Oh wow, event period. The collaboration warp this time will be available long term. There does not seem to be anything indicating that this banner will end. And surprisingly, oh wow, check this out. Not only is Saber and Archer on here, but also their limited weapons. Meaning there has been months worth of time that has passed since the spinning event for Archer's light cone, where now, bro, you could have dedicated, if you wanted to really get your Archer feeling right, you could have dedicated a lot of pulls over the course of from version 3.4 all the way to now in version 3.8. Grinded so many pulls up to this point, because Star Rail at least gives up like 90 pulls per patch, right? Someone help me in the calculation in the comment section below, right? So knowing that potentially, right, at this point in time, even if you lost to 50-50 trying to get Archer's Lycone, you still would have gotten it or after all this time. It's not like it's a limited time thing that's like, oh, it's gonna be here and then it's gonna disappear and you're not gonna see it ever again for a long time until they rerun the character again. Like, no, this shit is still here. This is actually a positive for free-to-play players in comparison to a negative. Like, the spinning event was the negative. The positive was after the spinning event, where this bitch was still here, able to be obtained. Since they gave Archer, you know, the collab event character for free, and that nigga ended up climbing to the top of the fucking, the Pride Win tier list, despite the fact you thought he would, like, fall the fuck off and not actually be a strong hunt character, but he proved everybody wrong, surprisingly enough. Anyway, let's go to Exchange. What's an Exchange? Yeah, Exchange, we have the Stellar Convergence, which allows you to get a handful of free, like limited 5 stars and standard. Oh, actually, you get 1, 2, 3 limited 5 stars, and then you have like the 7 standard 5 stars. So this is similar to what Zenless has going on with the spinning event. Honestly, Zenless just got to do this, but make it permanent for their game. And then light cones, 3 limited light cones. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. I'm wrong. Not 3 limited light cones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 6 limited light cones and 7 standard 5-star light cones. You want to know why there's 6 limited light cones? It's because the 50-50 loss in the game of Star Rail now allows for you to lose your 50-50, again, like I said earlier, to limited 5-star units, especially old ones from a while ago. So now, the pool is like even deeper or more. Oh, excuse me. It's a bit more. How can I say this? Freemium. I like to use the term freemium. It's a bit more freemium to obtain these, especially knowing that we get like these golden like head pieces things to obtain the like not new but old limited like 5-star character and their limited 5-star weapons, right? It's cool to know we get those periodically, and it's also cool to know that they're going to be adding more to this as well, because they have a label in here that says "Stay tuned," meaning they're going to add more characters to this, more limited characters to this. Because like Star Rail's roster is already getting big as fuck as it is right now. They need to add more ways for players to be able to obtain these limited 5-star units without only having to wait for the new limited banner to come back out. So essentially, this is a pretty smart move on their end, in my opinion. Anyway, back to the video.
This is what it is, man. Kuro Games, it's the boogeyman. They're gonna grab a fucking gun, they're gonna aim at your head, and they're gonna be like, "You spin, little piggy!"
Again, this is the same verbatim talking point that people did towards Hoyoverse when it came down to their spinning events. And he's just recycling the same point.
Spin our game, little piggy! And, you know, it is what it is, man. It's kind of sad. I know, I understand why you guys are feeling sad. Not really, though. But anyways, this guy even said, the fact that you just get a standard 5-star weapon and not the signature for one of the featured characters. Remember, guys? Because, yeah, this is the type of thing that they...
he's gonna keep mentioning Star Rail, bro. This weapon again is still permanent in the game right now, even after the fate gift event ended. This limited time event ended. It is still present. That means players still can obtain this fucking weapon even right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we go 2 months into version 4 of Star Rail and niggas are still able to obtain this weapon. So this point actually falls the fuck off. If you think about it, if niggas been saving their pulls for like 2 whole version patches, you would have gotten this weapon blatantly right now. Anyway, let us continue. Again, the Zenless point. Hold on, where's my Zenless point? Again, Zenless point. That's the reason why this person is saying this. Blazion, you fool. Hold up, let's rewind. Did it rewind? Yeah, here we go. This person is absolutely valid. Why are we only getting one of 3 of the limited characters, but not also their signature weapon? That sucks. How is it that Wuwa is not letting you do this, but Zenless Zone Zero, the quote unquote failed game of Hoyoverse, is doing this for their new spinning event? How is it that I can get a standard 5-star and their weapon along with a limited character and their weapon? How? Clearly, the Zenless devs thought, you know what? Let's have players be able to choose between standard and limited weapons and / characters when they spend $200. Wuwa was like, these niggas are crazy. You think we're gonna give you the limited weapon and the character? You thought, nigga. Anyway, let's continue. Let's get back into it.
Signature for one of the featured characters.
Oh man,
remember, guys? Because yeah, this is the type of thing that they are used to already. Just saying. It feels like a ripoff. Not gonna lie. Unless you get their signature somewhere after, but that doesn't seem to be the case just based on this image. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. All right, let's talk about this. These are the new standard 5-star weapons. New standard 5-star weapons. You want to know a good example of why these people are out of touch? I'm going to show you very easily. So, Line is a character that was revealed in 3.0. This character is a pistol user. Her pistol, deals almost the same damage as a standard weapon. This is the newest standard weapon. He has 9%.
Bruh. Okay, hold up. First of all, let's go ahead and say this. First and foremost, the person wants to be able to obtain. Let's go back to it again. The person wants to be able to obtain the characters that's on here plus their limited weapon, not the standard weapon, because these standard weapons don't really have value for these old units because they can't take advantage of the tomb break mechanic in the similar fashion as, Lene. Let's actually read this, shall we? When a Resident 18 casts a tomb break skill again. Oh, damn it. Hold up. He's blocking the screen. Shit. Can't really read this. Shit. He's blocking it.
% of difference. 9% of difference. Are you understanding?
Yeah, again, though, this weapon is only good for her. Because she's a tomb break type character. So, of course, it's going to be perfect for her. But let's say if someone didn't pull for Lene, then the weapon, again, is meaningless to them. Because guess what? They want to be able to have the best in slot weapon of the character that they're spending $200-something for. Hold up, my bad. $200-something for. Like, these weapons are meaningless for these characters because the only ones who take advantage of these weapons are tomb break based characters. Not these niggas. Like, yes, the Wuwa characters now have the ability to have, like, this tune counter attack move, right? But that move is, like, it's not really doing much. At least from what I've experienced from the gameplay, it's not really doing much. It's, like, a cool little extra thing to do. Like, cool, whatever. But, like, I would prefer the limited weapon that goes with said character and not this 5-star standard weapon. Like, if you're going to make me spend money to get these characters but not give me their weapons, it's like, bro, this is a ripoff. Because these niggas don't want these weapons. They want their weapon. Everyone knows that War characters want their weapon. because 4-star and standard 5-star alternatives aren't really aren't better for them, or damn near non-existent. In particular, 4-star weapons are damn near non-existent. Anyway,
understanding that, for example, in the case of HSR, if you do not have the correct light cone, you're gonna get probably fucked. By the way, in the case of Wuwa, you can use a lot of times these new weapons on these characters. Now, let me be clear. Of course, Line, for the people who did not pull for Line, probably it sucks. But you can also use this pistol, for example, on Carlotta and other pistol users, because this pistol is kind of universal, not gonna lie, guys. That being said, and I can give you the example, you know, why, you know, crit damage.
Subset, crit damage, increases attack by 12% when a resonator and team casts a tune break skill. It grants 20% all attribute damage bonus to the wielder for 14 seconds.
okay, that is universal. I will give you that.
Damage, attack percent.
But it still doesn't, you know, disprove the fact that, one, these Wuwa characters, just like Starwell, they want their premium weapon. And these weapons are like directly tied to the new meta. Like, honestly, this feels like a bit of damage control to like be like, okay, we know we are making 5-star characters for version 3 take advantage of the tune break mechanic way better and way more effectively in comparison to the old 5-stars from versions 1 and 2. So what's the best way can we counter this? Or try to, you know, block the tide of like complaints from this? Well, we can give everyone a tune break skill so that they can press it at the exact moment to then cast a little skill, boom, break them, stun them, whatever, right? And then let's create, you know, the new standard 5-star weapons also involve themselves in the tune break mechanic, while some of them get like a universal, you know, buffing for the team or for active resonator on the team, just like the DPS or whatever, right? This feels like a bit of damage control. This feels like damage control to like quell that problem. Again, tune break characters are going to take advantage of this way more in comparison.
As well. And also, whenever anyone uses the tune break skill, I mean, 20% out damage attribute damage bonus. So, yeah, it's good. It's good if you want any character that has a pistol user to be a DPS. That being said,
how many pistol users do we even have in this fucking game right now?
yeah, the character of the past that was revealed is Luke, one of the characters. And Luke, if you remember, he's a Spectral user that uses gauntlets. Guess what? Do you remember that new Sonata set that has gilded, as in golden, like the golden veins that Luke has? I think it's more than obvious that this is his Sonata set, guys.
So, here we go. Another instance of Kuro Games creating dedicated echo sets for certain characters. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I see people complain about that when it comes to the Hoyoverse games. Again, someone correct me if I'm wrong about that. But I know there's a bit of an issue when it comes down to Wuwa, when it comes down to like certain characters having dedicated echo sets. Because then it's like, it kind of leaves a whole bunch of characters behind in the dust, no? Someone who's more like knowledgeable about Wuwa's fucking stuff can tell me if I'm a little off base or not. Anyway, let us continue.
Like the golden veins that Luke has, I think it's more than obvious that this is his Sonata set, guys. Let's be honest. He also has like a lot of auto attacks on his kit. He's like,
the reason I said what I said about the echo set thing, because I know people were complaining about that when it came down to KallaTheYapper and Frolova. I'm pretty sure people were complaining about their echo sets. That's the only reason I mentioned the echo set thing. Anyway,
whack and slashy, and guess what? Dealing basic damage augments spectral damage. So yeah, it's his Sonata set, guys. Anyways, yeah, Luke has Spectral and has Gauntlets and has basic attack scaling because, you know, basic attack damage. It's focused on whack and slash. Oh!
Okay, let's read this. Okay, this is the standard 5-star again. Let's see. Increases attack, dealing damage to targets under tune strain interfered. Wait, Toon Strain interfered grants 6% attack damage bonus for. This weapon sounds like it was designed for him. But again, if you skip this character, because you're saving for another character, whoever coming in next in version 3.2, this weapon is actually still useless, right? Now, Toon Strain interfered. I'm trying to remember. What does that look like on screen? Toon Strain interfered. What does that look like? Is that when I press the open? You know what? I gotta pull up the game again. Grant, I'm not gonna pull it up here. I'm gonna pull it up in after I finish the video, and then put it in the comment section what the Toon Strain thing looks like, or the indication of it. Anyway,
it's kind of like the newest gauntlets that skill with crit rate have attack percent damage bonus, and also whenever you damage a target under Toon Strains interfered, you augment your basic attack damage as well. I don't know, guys. It seems like it's very free to play friendly. If you want to pull for Luke and you spend money to pull for Luke, this might be a good weapon to have for him. So, as you guys...
Why can't they just give that for free? Again, that's going to be the always comeback. Why can't we get it for free? And again, this weapon is tailor-made for this nigga, right? In comparison to that pistol. That pistol is kind of universal in what it provides, at least for the standard weapon. But this weapon in particular is purposely designed for him. You know how I said earlier that this was like their damage control? Well, now their damage control that I labeled it as is kind of going out the door with that gauntlet. I'm not going to lie. Because that gauntlet is purposely made for him.
This might be a good weapon to have for him. So, as you guys can see...
Again, if you skip him because you don't like this character, then again, the gauntlet is fucking useless. Who cares?
Even if these people think that it's a ripoff, that it's not the signature for the weapons, these are weapons. These new 5-star standard weapons can actually be used for, in the case of Luke, can be used in the case of Line, and these are, let's be honest, 3.0 characters.
Yeah. Wow. Surprise, surprise. Weapons that are designed for version 3 characters are going to work best on version 3 characters in comparison to version 1 or 2 characters who cannot take advantage of the Toon Break mechanic on the exact same level as version 3 characters. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Duh. Why do you think people want to obtain the limited 5-star weapon that belongs to those characters, again, to Camellia, Jinshi, and Shorekeeper on the spinning event? Because I promise you, if their limited weapons were on here and not these standard ones, people wouldn't have an issue with it. But guess what? Knowing that none of these niggas are Toon Break type characters who want to take advantage of what these weapons provide, the weapons are useless to anyone spinning on this. Because again, if they skip both Luke and what's her name, Aim's banners, then it's like, again, these weapons are useless. If they skip them, it's meaningless. Who cares for these weapons when these characters don't want these weapons?
There's 3.1 characters, and obviously, no doubtly that other weapons might use the other standard weapons in the future that we haven't seen yet, aside from Kalsharo and the Broadway. But that's a wet dream. Okay, that's a wet dream. That being said,
Kalsharo doesn't exist. Who the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that spinning event, man? Fucking disappointing, Kuro. Fix your story and stop milking us. Once again, these people are so upset with the fact that, like, there is a reward for putting money on the game.
Bro, I promise you, these niggas wouldn't dare making this. Like, seeing this nigga sit here and really make this argument for Kuro, this nigga wouldn't be caught dead making this same argument for Hoyoverse. You wanna know why? Because I never seen him make such a damn argument for Hoyoverse. Again, this is something Hoyoverse players have argued and pushed back against for people who said spinning events are such predatory shit. And it's like, now when Wuwa does it, we're trying to downplay the predatoriness of it? Like, come on, bro. Shoot. Nah. Honestly, I gotta question how predatory it is because most of these fucking characters that's on there, except for Shorekeeper, are fucking useless.
As if some people aren't already putting money on the game to get said characters.
Free-to-play players aren't. What about them? Should they not get this shit for free? Unless you believe that free-to-play players don't deserve shit.
Okay.
Are you one of those type of individuals who believe, oh, well, because I spent so much money on the game, therefore, or I am the reason why free-to-play players even have a game to play in the first place? Are you one of those type of individuals? I hope not.
It's kind of silly to think that way. And also, kudos. These guys have to like throw in there the story issues that they
Yeah, because they do have a story issue, but you refuse to acknowledge that because you believe stories only focus on the main character, when that's never the case, no matter what genre you actually go into. Unless it's solo leveling, which honestly, I just got done rewatching or just watching a reaction mashup to solo leveling in season 2, I believe, where the whole ant thing, the attack of the black ant and whatnot, bro, genuinely, I was more entertained by seeing this group of S rank hunters fight the fucking mother ant and her colony and get squabbled and squashed on by the black ant. I found that shit. And even the people who got killed by that black ant before, homeboy, squabbled with Sun Jin Woo, aka the aura farming douchebag who will sit here and let niggas die just for the sake of aura farming. Screw you, Sun Jin Woo. Anyway, I found all those other side characters so much more interesting to look at because they were facing a threat that was out of their league. Do you know how much more fun it would have been to watch these side characters get down into it and be like, yo, we're going to come up with a plan to restrain them. We're going to analyze, observe, and plan out our attack on this black ant and take them down. I would have loved to seen it. Dead ass. Because I believe they could have done it. But because that show is solo leveling, such a plan would have never been conceived. Such actions would have never occurred or ever happened because this is the Sun Jin Woo show, right? The moment that nigga comes up and starts saving lives and shit, it's like, bro, you could have been here since off rip and you made a bullshit excuse for why you didn't want to come here. Fuck you, Sun Jin. So fuck you, Sun Jin Woo. Even shoot, I can't really say that about Dragon Ball character, can I? No, I'm pretty sure I can. Even if the Earth is at threat, you are not about to catch the Z Fighters, nor some of the stronger members of the Z Fighters just standing there doing nothing as the world is about to get clapped by an attack that's going to destroy it. Like, no. Even the main character, Goku, wouldn't just sit there and just aura farm, be like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just waiting till the last second for real. Like, no, nigga, he getting in there. You think the Z Fighters going to stand around and just let it happen? No, they going to get in there too. Again, back to the whole thing about side character thing. Like, bro, how is it that I am more invested in seeing the side characters handle these overpowered threats in comparison to the main character of solo leveling? Tell me. Like, bruh, it is more interesting to watch them on screen than to watch him. Dead ass.
They have with the story, right? But yeah, more people are also commenting on that. Y'all are absolute losers for bringing a spinning event into this game, copy-pasting all the worst parts from the Hoyoverse games. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think it's cooking. It's a big issue of gacha games, because all of them are predatory. Newsflash, all gacha games are predatory, XD, But the thing is, because there's too many people adhering to what Hoyoverse does, why would the other companies not want to do that as well? I mean, these gacha...
That's cool and all that they want to do that, but I find it very hypocritical for you to play defense for them and be like, oh, it's fine, like you've been doing this entire video. Especially when I know you're one of the first people to hop on Hoyoverse's ass cheeks for daring to have a spinning event, as you showed with Star Rail. So it's like, why are we playing defense for Koro right now? Why? Yeah, I didn't do that for Hoyoverse, did you? No, so why are we doing it here? And if you're about to say, oh, because Hoyoverse is $1 billion company, guess what? Koro Games is as well. They make millions. And on top of that, Koro is like backed by Tencent that also has hundreds of millions of dollars in their pocket too. So you can go ahead and miss me that shit.
Gacha players are the same gacha players that really want a character on the story because they want the character to be relevant because they spent money for said characters.
And because, the story isn't just about the main character, as Koro Games has shown multiple times since version 1 till now. But apparently you act like that didn't happen. Am I supposed to act like the Jinshi story didn't happen for Mount Firmament? Am I supposed to act like Rover was the main character of that plot? Dead ass.
So, yeah, it's the gacha people brain. So, of course, they're going to try to do what Hoyo is doing. That being said, this guy actually brings a valid worriness about the situation. I hope the spinning requirements aren't too high. Let's talk about that, because this is the part of the video that is actually going to be educational for all of you. So, a guy...
We about to find out whether or not your calculations are correct.
...named PokeCorp. I don't know if this is like a Mr. Poke viewer or something, but, you know, he grabbed that specific image, you know, this image, but, you know, the actual English version of it, all right? So he got that, and he showed it to us. The ways to get these moonlit rings, you know, and the ways to get said pulls, said characters and whatnot, is by spending money. Everyone understands that until now.
$200 at least. $200. At least that's up to the playable character. $200.
Great. So
spend $200 to get up to the playable characters. And you're to get the standard new 5-star weapons and the playable characters with $200 spent.
You have to add these numbers to add towards the value that you want. In the case of the star weapon, the 5-star weapon supply chest, it's going to be 450. For example, you need to sum up to have 450. In the case of the 5-star limited selector between Jinxie, Shorekeeper, or Camellia, or 8 transducers, which is like a substat selector. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if you select the substat selector instead of the Shorekeeper or any of the others, you are an idiot, just saying.
Are you an idiot? Aren't substat selectors supposed to be good things to, you know, help you refine your character to make them even better by, you know, selecting good substats? You know, isn't it crazy that, hold up, let me pull this up, because I think this is so worth pulling up right now. Hold up, give me a second. On the topic of substat selectors, I was gonna wait till I get to this point in the video to mention it. Okay, hold on, let me have this. It's already like 12:19 right now, so I think the reaction been going on for about an hour right now. Okay, let's scroll back in time. Where was it that this nigga Saint Tontas was like, oh, substat selectors are a bad thing? Where is it? Bro, that shit was such a cornball thing to watch. Oh, here we go. It was this video. Yo, what's up? Shut up. Okay, where do you mention substat selectors being like predatory or like cause HP inflation? Oh, he probably mentioned it at the beginning. Actually, let's go back right here. Version 2.5 is an update. 2.0 is incorrect. This cornball is gonna. He did it. 2.0. Or that was the reason.
To show you the actual proof that we can go through to address why I'm having these criticisms. So
I'll say this right now. EO, because I actually I won't say I will be reacting to it because I'm not too sure if I watch it on my own time.
The great new things that Hoyoverse is deciding to add to Zenless Zone Zero, right, are the substat re-rollers, right? People remember that this is something that also
It's a selector, not a re-roller.
got released in Honkai Star Rail. And I had massive critiques for their decision to implement this in the game. And do you want to know why I had massive critiques? Because Honkai Star Rail did the exact same thing in version 3.0. And do you want to know what happened to the balancing of Honkai Star Rail's endgame after these got released? Let me show you. This is where 3.0's MOC was. Check it out. That's where 3.0's MOC was. It was already the most rampant power creep, HP inflation.
I'm gonna say this right now, before he even gets to it, because his argument right here is that with the introduction of substat selectors, he's arguing that the reason why HP inflation happened in Star Rail is because of the substat selector, not because of the fact that every new DPS that came out was clearly 2 or 3 times stronger than the previous DPS. So we can essentially say that this is a goalpost shift, because the argument people gave for why HP inflation was happening had nothing to do with the substat selector. It was entirely built on, 1, new 5-star DPSs coming out each patch, 2, best in slot supports for said 5-star DPSs, and their like base damage numbers just like being slightly higher than the last DPS, essentially, right? For my Star Rail players, correct me if I am wrong, but again, this was never the argument. But now we've goalpost shifted the argument to say that the reason HP inflation happens in Star Rail, and now, by his own logic, in Zenless, it's because of the substat selector. Does that not sound stupid to you? Does that not sound utterly retarded? Like, what? So that means from this point moving forward in the future, no one can sit here and make the argument that characters, the release of new 5-star characters to our DPSs and best in slot support units are the ones that cause HP inflation. We can no longer make that argument anymore. Based on Saint Tontas' own logic, that means if I see this nigga make another argument talking about something why HP inflation has happened in Zenless and in Star Rail and in Genshin, if he dares to mention a character if he dares to mention a character and not the freaking substat selectors for the reason why, you'll know that this nigga was being a blatant hypocrite and being blatantly obtuse in this video. Keep that in mind. And also, since now they've been introduced to Withering Waves, essentially speaking, when it comes down to like your echoes, right? So that means HP inflation about to happen. Based on St. Thomas's own logic, we're about to have crazy HP inflation. Granted, honestly, it's not going to be because of those freaking those re-rollers or substat selectors. It's going to be because of AIM and her best slot support units helping her do more damage. Anyway, back to the video.
But yeah, it's not 980, so you're gonna have to sum up to have 980. Of course, I made all the work, so you guys might thank me now. Thank you, Blazion, for doing all the work, okay? So, yeah, we're gonna talk about that for now, alright? We're gonna talk about that. So, these are the calculations. I fucked it up, and I'm showing everything. But anyways, these are the calculations for all of these, okay? These calculations take into account one standard pool, limited pool, the motorbike accessory, 2 pools. It's basically what's being shown here and what's being said here. I just summed it all up, okay? Notice, 450 Moonlit Rings gives you the standard weapon, and the 980 gives you the 5-star resonator. So, let's talk about the bundles purchase, right? These are the bundles that are being said here. I went to my game and I did this myself. Notice this is in euros. It's in euros, so the value in dollars might be similar to this one, okay? Just want to make that clear. All right, so specific bundles. So if you get the weekly sub, so Lunite subscription, Truth Seeker collection, Truth Seeker forging, Space Track protocol, and Truth Seeker battle song, you're gonna get 31.25 astrites. Plus 5, my bad. I'm just gonna say this. You're gonna get 36.25 pools and weapon pools, 5 weapon pools, 1 new 5-star standard weapon selector, 1 standard pool, 1 limited pool also as well. You're gonna also get 1 motorbike accessory, weapon pools, and also custom livery set motorbike. This is all with just 82 euros and 95 cents. So basically 83 euros. Okay? As for the other one, this is all bundles. If you decide to purchase all the bundles of the shop, no top-ups, all the bundles, okay, you're going to be spending 158 euros and 93 cents, so 159 euros. You're going to get the Lunite subscription, all of the above, as you can see, right? And also the big ones, that like the one that gives you 15 radiance, for example, which is the Truth Seeker Collection 2, or you know the Astro Calibrate Protocol, which gives you 20. So that will give you not just 40 astrites, but also 40 pools as well. This is going to be 80.62 limited pools and 5 weapon pools. So this means that you're gonna get at least the character of the patch. If you're aiming for the character of the patch, you're gonna get a 50-50 or guaranteed of the weapon or of the character of the patch. That's a guarantee. You're gonna get the character of the patch, plus 1 new 5-star weapon selector, plus One selectable limited 5-star resonator, Jinxie, Shorekeeper, Camellia. I highlighted Shorekeeper because, let's be honest, it's probably the best choice in there. Anyways. Standard pools, limited pool, immortal bike, weapon pools, custom livery, and also free substat changers. That is at 680, which is between the standard weapon and also the choice of the character. So, as you can see, for 158 euros and 93 cents, so 159 euros, you can get the character of the patch, the character that is like on the selector, and also the weapon, the weapon also given to you, and many other things. Let's be honest, once again, these are bundles, so you're gonna get a lot of materials, you're gonna get a lot of weekly mats.
This still just adds up to fucking $200 you gotta spend just to get up there, just to get to the limited character that you can choose from the spinning event. Still $200. Maybe it's a little less for you people over there in the UK, but over here in the Americas, it's $200, bro.
You're gonna get a lot of shell credits, so yeah, you can get all of that. As simple as that. 159, you get a lot of things. Now, let's talk about top-ups. This is probably the thing that you guys might...
Wait, why aren't you just like adding all that shit together? Because you broke it down to sections for each section. But you do know all this accumulates. This isn't some, oh, I just spend $80 and then boom, I'm going to be able to get the character and the standard 5-star weapon. Like, that's not how that works. It accumulates. You have to keep spending. I don't understand why he hasn't like mentioned that, but that's how these top-ups work, or these spinning events work. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw $80 in it and then I get the majority of everything. Like, no, you gotta keep spending. You gotta spend at least 2 times to get that. Like, huh? Anyway,
might want to see the most, right? This is way more easy to understand. So this is 100 pools, 100 pools. Sorry, my bad. 100 euros. This is like 54 euros, which is like the 54 euros S-Rite pools, and also the you know what? It's just that one. It's just those two. It's like the 54 and 32. My bad. 54 and 32 pools. It's gonna give you about 6,120 Lunites, which equals to 38.25 pools. Once again, this is just to get the standard weapon selector. It's gonna give you 38 pools and just that, and also the other things before the standard weapon selector. As simple as that. Now, once again, this is gonna be the character top-up. 160 euros. Remember, this is 160 euros. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive than this one. This is 158. And this is 160. 2 more euros. Is it worth it? Let's see it. So it gives you 982 Moonlit Rings. So it gives you the standard weapon and the limited 5-star selector, as you guys may know, right? And then this is going to give you what? How can you get this? You get this by getting 100 euros, 54 euros, and then 90 cents. It's as simple as that. You also get the bonuses of all of those bundles. So this is going to be 12,080 Lunites, which equals to 75.5 pools. And let's be honest, you play the game 75.
Again, this is the UK currency, I guess, because he's from the UK. Over here in America, again, this is $200 even for us over here in America.
0.5 pools. And let's be honest, you play the game like you just.
And also, the only reason it's less over there for them is because we know like the currency is different between each nation. Like everyone knows that America's money is like legitly top dollar. It holds more value in comparison to other countries' money. That's why over here in America, that shit gonna be $200 and a little bit of change. Whereas for them over there in UK, it's gonna be like 100 and what 98 as he put it. Hold on, let's look back at his calculation again. No, 160. His is gonna be like 160 plus a little bit of change. But if this is just one time spend, then that shouldn't be 160. It should be like what like 200 something. Like 100. Nah, not 100. Like 200 something. My brain not working. Hold up. 00662 created 1 2 3. He 3,600, almost like $300. If we double it.
Pools. And let's be honest, you play the game like you just breathe in the world. You're just gonna get like 5 or 6 more pools, and that's gonna be one character of the patch. So yeah, one character of the patch, 50-50 or guaranteed. So 75.5 pools, one character of the patch, 50-50 or guaranteed, as I just said. One new standard weapon character selector, and
honestly, we shouldn't even be mentioning whether or not you'll be able to pull for the new units. That's not the point. We should be focusing solely on a spending event, and if how much money people are going to spend on this, will have to spend on said spending event to get up to like the limited characters, or just get everything in it. That's what we should be focused on, not on whether or not people have enough pulls to pull for a character. Because again, if people are going to skip those characters, they're going to skip them.
Obviously, one selectable limited 5-star resonator, Jinxie, Shorekeeper, Chameleon, one standard pool, one limited pool, motorbike, accessory, weapon pools, custom livery set motorbike, and also translucer, once again, the subset selector. Right, so all of this to say the following. We are wasting 160 euros to get to basically, you know, the character we want from the patch, right? AMF or Luke. We're spending that. Or we can do something different, which is 158. Yes, it's 80 pools, which is a bit more than 75.5 pools. So it's way more worth to get it from the bundles instead of getting from the top-ups. It's a bit more worth, okay? Because not only you're getting it, you're paying...
And that's still a lot of spending. Again, we live in a current time right now in the world where spending money frivolously is not the best choice. So even with everything he's saying here, again, it goes back to that, and it goes back to the argument of why can't we just get this for free?
Paying less. This is 160 and this is 158 euros, right? But also you're gonna get way more stuff like materials, weekly mats, and also shell credits. So yeah, as you guys may see, it seems very reasonable for everyone that is watching this video. That being said, 158 euros. Is this bad, the fact that this is expensive? Yes, it is. It is bad. It is predatory.
I'm glad you recognize that.
It doesn't stop being predatory just because it's a good deal. It's still money that you're wasting. So do use your money wisely, okay? If you want to spend money on the characters of the patch, or, you know, for the future, or whatever you want to do, right? If you are going to spend money to get at least one character guaranteed, or a 50-50 at least of the patch, you're going to be able to also get the standard pool and also get another character, Jinxie, Shorekeeper, or Chameleon. In my eyes, if you're already spending money to get the characters on the patch and you get a standard weapon guaranteed and also another weapon, that to me is a W. If you see it from that way, it's a W. If you don't...
I can understand that, which is why I have the perspective of spending events are direct purchases. Which is why, again, I like what Zillins has going on with theirs, where this is a direct purchase. If I spend another $100, I will have enough to obtain both of these. Well, it was 18 days ago. Oh my gosh, my time is running out. Hopefully I'll be able to get this by this coming Friday. Oh boy. Anyway, let's get back to it.
If you don't want to spend anything, it's not for you. You're not going to get anything. As simple as that, right? Now, let's talk about how predatory this is compared to, let's say, HSR. So, this is 200 tickets. This is 200 tickets. Reminder, every single ticket, so basically 160 equals to, you know, one pool in this game. So let's see exactly the calculations that I made. So 80 shards. This is the amount of shards that you need. You need to have for 200 shards, which is hilarious, just saying. You need to have 32,000 stellar jades.
Let me pause this because I have the game pulled up right here. Okay, let's look at the stellar jades. How many did he say you needed? Hold up, let's go back to that banner. It says you need what?
Reminder.
You need 200 pulls. You need for the limited time event for that Lycone, you needed 200 pulls. So essentially, you have to spend $200. That's all that is. Spend $200 to get 2 sets of 81 pulls in order to use it for that limited time event, that spending event, to then get like Archer Lycone. Wait, what number is he gonna reach? Is he gonna reach 200 or he about to say it's 400? Hold up. Granted, he calculating based off his UK math. So crazy. Anyway, let's continue. Wrong button. Hold up.
Compared to, let's say, HSR. So this is 200 tickets. Reminder, every single ticket, so basically 160 equals to, one pool in this game. So let's see exactly the calculations that I made. So 80 shards, this is the amount of shards that you need. You need to have for 200 shards, which is hilarious, just saying. You need to have 32,000 stellar jades for 200 tickets. Remember, this is if you need to pay right now. If you need to get those tickets right now. Imagine if in the previous patch you
again reaching 32,000 jades. Or shards. Hold up. Let's go back to this thing again. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute.
For 200 shards, which is hilarious, just saying.
Again, you just need to spend $200. You just need to spend $200. I'm over here trying to understand every word he's saying. Bro, you just need to spend $200 for that spending event. And of course, even now, it doesn't even matter at this point because now getting that light cone is mad fucking easy now. Because, the light cone banner for that spending event is still up and running for months on end. And it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. So if people want to still get that light cone and get copies of it, they still can.
Equals to one pool in this game. So let's see exactly
60 equals again, even in the store for the game, right, for Star Rail, they legitly, ever since Hoyoverse got cracked down on, they had to reveal what exactly people are getting for each bundle purchase or like the top up purchase, right? Yeah, you just have to spend $200 or just to get 81 pulls twice in order to pull for Archer Lycone. So it's just $200. Again, I'm curious to know what numbers he's gonna reach.
Exactly the calculations that I made. So 80 shards, this is the amount of shards that you need. You need to have for 200 shards, which is hilarious, just saying. You need to have 32,000 stellar jades for 200 tickets. Remember, this is if you need to pay right now. If you need to get those tickets right now. Imagine if in the previous patch you spent money and right now you need to spend money again to have pulls. Yes, you need to spend money right now, okay? Just make that clear. So, you need to have 4 times the biggest top up, which is this one, of 100 euros. That's gonna be for 399.96.
I don't know where the fuck he's getting this 300 number from, bro. It's 200. If you needed to spend 200 pulls on that spending event banner for his light cone, The in-game shop legitimately tells you how much you're getting for $100. If you spend $100 in the game, you're getting 81 pulls. 81 times 80 times 2 is legitimately more than 200. Hold on. Let me just pull up my fucking calculator just so I can be more accurate. Give me a second. 81 times 2. You will have... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I may have to retract my statement. Hold on. Wait a minute. 82 times 2 got me 162 pulls. Okay. So what does times 3 get me? Times 3 gets me 243. So you would have needed to spend $300 to at least get the Lycon. Which, okay, I can admit when I'm wrong. That's a little pricey. Not a little pricey. That's really pricey. Right? $300 for the Lycon? Pretty pricey. But the but must be included for this. It is worth recognizing and mentioning that the light cone for Archer has still been in the game ever since the spinning event. And it's been months since that spinning event. At this point in time, if you still want to get Archer's light cone, you are able to still get it right now. That's the caveat to this. That's the saving grace in this whole thing related to that light cone.
6 cents. That's 400 euros. 400 euros for a signature light cone if you never saved up. Compared to, let's be honest, these people wanted to...
At least $300 if you didn't save up. And if, let's say, you did save up and you've been skipping banners like patch on by like multiple patches of banners up till like the time that spinning event came, you would have already been stockpiled on a lot of pulls by then. At least 200 pulls. Max. Like, reaching 200 pulls in Star Rail is actually not difficult at all. For the amount of pulls that we get per patch for Star Rail, it's almost like 90 pulls. Right? Actually, let me do a little Google search right quick just to further confirm my suspicion or my point. How many pulls do players get in Star Rail per month? Okay, so here we go. Free-to-play players in Honkai Star Rail typically earn around 65 to 100 pulls per version update, approximately 6 weeks. Averaging roughly 55 to 70 plus pulls per month. This includes daily missions, events, simulated universe, and shop resets. Players with the Express Supply Pass and Nameless Glory Battle Pass can earn over 120 plus pulls per update, or roughly 80 plus per month. So, knowing this to be the case, you didn't even need to spend $300 to get at least 200 pulls. You didn't even need to do that. Right? So if someone did save their pulls from like version, let's say 2.3 all the way to version 3.4, they'd have more than enough pulls to get that light going for Archer. Right? And even after the spinning event, if they still been saving pulls, they could throw their pulls at that freaking weapon banner right now and get Archer's light cone, even getting past the 50-50 mark, so that they'll be able to, like, you know, get the guarantee for the weapon. Like, dead ass. So it's like, even with knowing that you had to at least spend $300 just to obtain 200 plus pulls to get his weapon, the game already offers more than enough pulls for a free-to-player and a low spender just to obtain 200 plus pulls. So you didn't really need to spend money. It was not a necessity. Just like how in WoWa right now, it's not a necessity for you to spend that money, because you don't need those things in the. You don't really need them, or you're not forced to pull for them or spend money for them. You're not forced to. Granted, Archer's light cone is a little bit of force added to it because he only has what one light cone option for him. That's good. In particular, that's his weapon. So that's like the difference between the two, right? Right? Because like the value of a spinning event shifts depending on what they're offering in the spinning event, right? Or the value of a spinning event does shuffle depending on what's offered in the spinning event. Archer's light cone is tailor-made for him, and he was a free character that we got for free. So it was like, it's tailor-made light cone for a free character we got. Is like, and knowing that he does need his weapon is like, damn, because there's no other weapon that fits him. Granted, I've been told by Star Rail hardcore players that there's 4-star options that exist that are good for these characters. So I've been told that. And I even use 4-star light cones for my fucking Star Rail characters anyway. Anyway, let's continue.
To talk about the standard pool, right? They wanted to talk about the standard pool, right? About the weapon. This is the easiest way to get it. 82 pools, 82 euros. You're gonna get the one standard weapon selector. And once again, like I said previously.
Also, something I just realized. The comparison between this spinning event and Star Rails is not even the same. That's what kind of makes this comparison more slimy, just to make Star Rail look way worse in comparison. Why didn't you mention the Cyrene, spinning event? Why didn't you mention that one? Because that's more of a valid one-to-one comparison. What about what Zenless Zone Zero has, right? For this is a valid one-to-one comparison. But we're going to mention the Star Rail light cone for Archer as like, oh, look how bad this is for that. Despite the fact they've done multiple. It's in my opinion, this feels a little bit slimy, little. It's not connecting properly as a one-to-one fair comparison. If we're really going to play this game of who had a worse spinning event, like, why don't you mention the most recent one that they Star Rail did, right? Because people mentioning the most recent one when it comes down to Woo-Ah, so let's do the same thing for Star Rail. So we can have a valid one-to-one counter argument between what's had what value. Because again, value fluctuates depends on what's being provided in spinning events.
This is roughly the same thing in Wuthering Waves. Roughly the same thing in Wuthering Waves. So yeah. I
wouldn't call it roughly the same. I wouldn't call it that. Because Star Rail spinning event was dedicated to solely getting Archer's light cone. Whereas Woo-Wah's is dedicated to getting the standard weapons, limited 5-star characters, and extra accessories and a reroller. That's completely different than what Star Rail Archer light cone spinning event was. Completely different.
Comparing the level of 400 euros compared to 83 euros.
I'm going to assume euros is the currency. Bro, you're still spending a lot of money. That's still a lot of money to spend. There's niggas out here who ain't got $8 worth to spare. $80 worth to spare. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got there people ain't got the money on to be talking about I'm going to spend $80 on a game. Nigga, huh? Save that for rent.
Euros. Do I need to say anything else? Is it bad, the fact that these rewards are only given if you spend money on the game? Yes, it is. Because for the people who want to be free-to-play players in a casino game, let's be honest, they're not gonna get it. But if you're paying just to get the 50-50 at least, of AMF or Luke, is it good? Because not only you're going to get the character, or maybe lose the 50-50 of the character that you like, but you're going to get to the character, but also, you're also going to get, shopkeeper, a potential shopkeeper, or, a potential standard weapon selector that is going to be probably used for, I don't know, if you're using already Line, you can select this one. If you want to get Luke, you're probably going to use this one, because this one is probably going to be the same situation with Line, right? So, is it worth quote unquote. If you want to get the characters, that's a W. That's a win. It's way better than, for example, spending 400 euros for the signature weapon in HSR. And let's be honest, certain HSR weapons, characters I mean, they do not work that well without their signatures. So yeah, this is the big analysis.
I'm genuinely curious to how much he knows about Star Rail's meta on some real shit. I'm genuinely curious because I don't think I've ever seen this man ever show any gameplay of this game or even mention that he used to play this game. Anyway,
Of the entire situation. Once again, if you don't want to spend money on a gacha, you don't need to. Nobody's aiming at your head a gun to force you to.
that's not how y'all niggas were acting like when it came down to Hoyoverse. Still, again, same thing. Also, since I got Star Wars pulled up right now, let me see what other light cone option does the game provide or tell you is good for Archer Emiya. Let me pull my boy up. Give me a minute. Where he at? Where's character? Ah, here you go. Boom. My Archer Emiya is right here. Okay, for light cone options. Hold up. Nope, not that. Crap. Okay, here we go. Recommendations. The first one, of course, is his. The second recommendation is seemingly the standard 5-star Lycone for the hunt. Third place is, of course, another standard or another limited 5-star Lycone. And then in fourth place, we have a 4-star light cone that increases crit damage, the skill damage, and follow-up attack damage dealt by the wearer, increased by 24%. Looks like an Amphorius type of light cone. I wonder if there was a limited time event that can give me this for free. Anyway, and then of course other hunt light cones that's underneath the fourth one are unusable. So there's about 4 light cones. 2 of the 4 are limited. 1 is a standard and 1 is a 4-star weapon. So he's got some good range of option that's mixed up at least. It is not solely, he only needs his weapon. What about Blade? What Blade got going on? Hold on, let me check Blade. Blade's recommendations for weapons is his, and then 2 4-star weapons. Okay, let's look at a newer unit. Let's look at Firefly. What Firefly got going on? Recommendations for Firefly. She has her limited one, the standard 5-star, and the 4-star Lycone. Okay. What about my Cyrene? What about you? Let's take a look. Recommendations for my Cyrene. She has her limited weapon, then a standard weapon, and then 4-star Lycone option. Because they created new light cones, if y'all didn't know, for 4-star level light cones. So it's like clearly. Oh, let me look at my Dong Hong. What about Dong Hong? Not imbibitor, but permanence Dong Hong. That one, physical Dong Hong, right? He has his limited weapon, then 2 4-star weapons he could use. Yep, 2 4-star weapons. Who's another example I can look to? Who is another new character that came out? Okay, for homegirl Acheron, she has her limited weapon, then 2 4-star options. For Siege, Cyphera has how many weapon options she got? She has her limited 5-star weapon, and then she has 2 4-star weapon choices. Okay. What about Finon, the goat? Finon has 2 5-star options. One is his limited weapon, one is the standard, and then finally he has a 4-star light cone option. So I don't know if I fully agree with this idea that they need their limited 5-star weapons in comparison to War characters in relation to like Star Rail versus War in terms of who want their limited weapons or not. Because right now, it's seeming like Star Rail got a lot of options for 4-star weapons to be used for these niggas in comparison. Anyway, let's continue.
To pull. Okay. So that being said, this seems like a very meticulous situation where a lot of these people are gonna be concerned about this event. But the thing is, you know, looking at what it is, giving you certain pools, giving you certain weapons, giving you like bike skins and whatnot, and certain amount of substat selectors and whatnot, and also these weapons and these characters, one of these ones is selectable. It is good for the people who spend money already just to get the characters off the pack.
I agree. It is good. Objectively, it is a good thing for people who are spending money. It's just not a good thing for people who aren't spending money, who are free to play.
So it's still a net positive. For someone who actually is spending money, it's worth 80 euros, the amount of money that usually you spend to get certain amount of currency, or 158. You know, this seems like something that is attainable even for the people that try to use those bundles from LD Shop or lootbar.gg. That being said, it's all up to you guys. Spend wisely. Once again, spend wisely. If you don't have the means to, do not spend money in gacha games. It's as simple as that. That being said, hope you guys had fun watching this video. See you guys next time, and goodbye.
Alright, well, he said everything I needed to say. I think I said everything I needed to say. I think I went a little into more depth than needed to. It's already going on 1 o'clock in the morning now. This has been a lengthy reaction. I guess I gotta end it now. I think I said everything I needed to say too. I said everything I needed to say. Mention things I needed to mention, so on and so forth. Yeah. So, like, sub, turn on the notification bell, join my YouTube community Discord if you wish. Link is on the channel. Check out my yapping topics and my yapping reaction content. All videos are available in their respective playlists. Also, I stream here on YouTube and YouTube only. I stream Wuwa, Star Rail, Genshin, and Zenless, along with 2 non-gacha games, those being Fate Samurai Remnant and Gravity Rush Remastered. As me posting this video, I think I'm going to be playing Gravity Rush Remastered tonight on Saturday night, and I will try, what's the game called? Infield. There we go. I'm going to try Infield tomorrow night on Sunday, or just like tomorrow afternoon on Sunday. Who knows? Anyway. Oh, also, I need to say this as well. Where's the video? Okay, hold up. Let me click on my channel so I can say this as well. Give it a moment. I have reached 819 subs as of right now. I am close to 1,000 subs. I'm close to my goal of 1,000 subs. And I really would very much appreciate it if you share the video around and so on and so forth. Like, help the video get traction and all that cool dandy stuff. I'm so close to 1,000 subs. So, I know I can make it there thanks to y'all's support. Anyway, I appreciate, also I should say this as well, I appreciate all the support y'all have given to each and every video I posted, especially when I really started getting to posting reaction content. I really appreciate y'all's support. And it gives me the drive to keep making more content. And all that cool, awesome stuff. Anyway, this is KallaTheYapper signing out. Peace.